armful of mixed fruit and had a delicate transparent length of material patterned in blue and green around his neck. Hester had borne down upon them full of wrath, only to be disarmed by the boy, saying jovially, "Little miss here explained that she'd missed you when you left the ship, when she lingered to watch the monkey dancing to the barrel organ. So I said she might come along with me to the bazaar, and we've had a grand afternoon, haven't we, missy?" Naturally, Hester had said nothing to the boy, apart from thanking him for his kindness to her charge. But as soon as she got Lonnie to herself, she'd given her a fearful telling off, warning her that such behaviour would not be tolerated either by herself or by her English aunt. "You had no right to leave me," Lonnie had said calmly, cutting across Hester's diatribe long before it was finished. "If I were to tell my father that you went ashore and left me behind, he would have you whipped and thrown into a snake pit." Despite herself, Hester could not help laughing. "What a little liar you are," she'd said. "Why, your father would agree that as your governess, I have every right to punish you when you do wrong." "Oh, punish," Lonnie said airily. They were in the cabin, and she took her silver-backed hairbrush off the dressing table, untied her hair ribbon, and began to brush her limp, light brown locks. "Punishment is giving me extra schoolwork, or making me miss a meal, or not speaking to me for a whole half-hour. Not letting me go ashore was wicked and mean, and if you try it again—" All Hester's amusement fled. The child was actually daring to threaten her. Yet she could see Lonnie's point in some ways. The voyage was a long one, and diversion such as a trip ashore rare enough. The Pride of India only made 2 landfalls, Alexandria being the first, and since there was little she could do about it if Lonnie decided to go off without her, she had better devise a form of punishment which meant she could keep her eye on Lonnie at the same time. Thinking back to Mr. Hetherington-Smith's instructions, she seemed to remember that he had said she would be in charge of his daughter at all times until they reached Liverpool, when Miss Emmeline Hetherington-Smith would presumably share her duties. This obviously meant that if she wished to go ashore, Lonnie must accompany her. Having lived all her life in the East, however, Hester knew the value of saving face, knew that she must employ it now if she was ever to get anywhere with Lonnie. Accordingly, she said reprovingly, "Have you any idea of the dangers which surround one in a foreign port, Leonora? Have you never heard of the white slave trade? Some men would give a good deal of money to add an English girl to their harems, or to be able to boast of an English slave in their servants' quarters. If you were shipped to somewhere like South America, your lot would be miserable indeed, and your life short. Did you not think of that when you disobeyed my instructions and went ashore alone?" "Well, I did, because I'm not a fool," Lonnie said scathingly. "Why do you think I made that silly young man take me to the bazaar? There was a nasty old man on the quayside who kept trying to persuade me to go with him. He said he had 6 beautiful white ponies and a granddaughter who looked just like me, and he said we might ride the ponies and eat sweetmeats and have a wonderful time until the ship sailed." At the mention of the old man on the quayside, Hester had actually felt the hair on the back of her neck prickling erect, and it seemed as though iced water trickled down her spine. It occurred to her that both she and Lonnie had had a very narrow escape, for how would she have explained to Mr. Hetherington-Smith and his sister that she had lost Miss Leonora whilst ashore in Alexandria? So instead of scolding Lonnie any further, she'd given her a big hug and assured her charge that she would not leave her again. That evening, when Lonnie was asleep, Hester had considered her position anew. Her employer had paid her first-class passage on the ship and had told her that though she would be answerable to his sister, it would be he himself who would be paying her salary. "My sister is a good deal older than me and somewhat set in her ways, so I have written to her, explaining that I wish you to continue in my employ until such time as my daughter no longer needs you," he had said. "However, I have been forced to practice a small deception to make this acceptable to Miss Hetherington-Smith. In short, my dear Hester, I have told her not only that you are the child of my dearest friend, but that you are 24 years old and are experienced in dealing with small children. I fear that if my sister knew the truth, that you are 18 and have never before been a